My dear students, I welcome you all to this new semester. So in this semester I am going to handle the subject Power Electronics. The code is EE8552. So before entering into the subject, we can see some general introduction about power electronics. So the power electronics, so take this term, how we can write the power? We can write the power as P is equal to V into I, that is voltage into current. So this power can be controlled by using the electronic devices or some power semiconductor devices. For example, by using the power semiconductor devices, you can control the voltage to run our load at the desired level, at the desired voltage. Okay, so when you see this power electronics, you may think that this subject belongs to the electronics engineers, but it is not so. So power electronics, it partly belongs to the power engineers and partly belongs to the electronics engineers. Power electronics is the subject that concerns the application of electronic principles that are at power level rather than signal level. For example, take semiconductor power switches like thyristors, GTOs, etc. So these thyristors and GTOs, etc. are working under the principle of electronics, but in the rating of power level, not the signal level. Power level means, for example, in the range of kilowatts or megawatts, gigawatts, etc. So there are the designs, different designs for power electronic circuits and electronic circuits. The power electronic circuits have high efficiency and high energy level, and the electronic circuits have the low efficiency. So there are different techniques for designing these two power electronic circuits and electronic circuits. The techniques are not same. Okay, so for both power electronic circuits and electronic circuits, the techniques are different for designing purpose. So what are the difference between power engineering and electronics engineering? When we hear the term power electronics, we must see the difference between the power engineering and electronics engineering. So power engineering, it is mainly concerned with generation, transmission, distribution and utilization of electrical energy at high efficiency. But electronics engineering is mainly concerned with distortionless production, transmission and reception of data and signals of very low level. It may be in the range of milliwatts or some few watts at low frequency. Then power engineering, in power engineering, the apparatus associated with this is based mainly on electromagnetic principles. The apparatus associated with the electronics engineering is based mainly upon the physical phenomena in vacuum, gases or vapors or semiconductors. So these are the difference between the power engineering and electronics engineering. Now we can see the applications. So the power electronics are used in SMPS and UPS, which are used in computers, communication equipment and consumer electronics. It can also be used in the electro-technical applications like welding, electroplating and induction heating. In aerospace, as satellite power supplies, aircraft power systems. In commercial purpose, advertising, heating, air conditioning, central refrigeration, computer and office equipment, UPS, elevators, light dimmers and flashes. So all these we might have heard about this, right? So the power electronic components are used here in all these applications. Then in industrial purpose, arc and industrial furnaces, blowers and fans, pumps and compressors, industrial lasers, transformer tap changers, rolling mills, textile mills, excavators, cement mills, welding, etc. In residential purpose, air conditioning, cooking, lighting, space heating, refrigerators, electric door openers, dryers, fans, personal computers, other entertainment equipment, vacuum cleaners, washing and sewing machines, light dimmers, food mixers, food warmer trays. The power electronics also are used in telecommunication systems like battery chargers, traction control of electric vehicles, electric locomotives, streetcars, trolley buses, subways and automotive electronics. And also it can be used in utility systems, in high voltage DC transmission system, excitation systems, war compensation, about which you will study later in the subject facts, static circuit breakers, fans and boiler, feed pumps, supplementary energy systems like solar and wind. So these are the applications of power electronics. Now we can see the advantages of power electronics. So in power electronics, since we use the power semiconductor devices, power semiconductor switches, which has low loss, and hence the efficiency of the system becomes high. This is the first advantage of power electronics. And also the power electronic converter systems are highly reliable. Then in power electronic system, in power semiconductor devices, there are no mechanical parts, or there are no moving parts in the power electronic system. So it has less maintenance and its life is very long. And also in the power electronic system, the dynamic response is very fast as compared to the electromechanical converter systems. So dynamic response means we can fastly switch on and off the electronic components, the switches. Okay, then so we might have seen the thyristor or a MOSFET. So it is very compact in size and weight, less weight. So due to which the floor space becomes very less, and also the installation cost becomes very low because of this smaller size and compact size and less weight of the power semiconductor devices. Then the mass production. So anything if you produce in the mass level, the cost becomes low. For example, you take the mobile. First, when the mobile was invented, its cost was very high. But later, when the mass production happened, otherwise the production was very huge. When the production was very huge, the cost of the mobile phone became very low. So in that way, the power semiconductor devices also, so its production was very huge. So nowadays the mass production happens, so its cost also becomes very low. So these are the advantages of power electronics. Then what are the disadvantages? So the main disadvantage is harmonics. The power electronic converter circuits often generate harmonics in the supply system as well as in load circuit. In load circuit, it may be the load may be DC machine or AC machine. Okay. So in DC machines, the harmonic causes the commutation problems and also motor heating and more noise in both DC and AC machines. So to reduce this motor heating or more noise, we must insert filter. So the filtering requirement is necessary at the output side of the converter. It is in the load circuit. What about in the supply system? So in the supply system, the harmonic causes the distorted voltage waveform. Not only that, the harmonic also influences the performance of the nearby equipment which are connected to the same supply line. Okay, then the harmonics causes the interference in audio and video equipment. So it is necessary to insert filters at the input side of the converter. So because of these harmonics, the filtering requirement is necessary. Next disadvantage is in AC to DC and AC to DC and AC to AC converters operate at a low power factor under certain operating conditions. So it should not be operated at a low power factor. So to improve the power factor level, some action should be taken. Okay, so this is also disadvantage. Then it has low overload capacity. So if the momentary overload takes place, momentary overload means if the sudden overload takes place, then the rating of the components also should be very high. So if the rating of the component becomes high, then its cost also increase. This is also an disadvantage. The last disadvantage is the regeneration of power is difficult. So these are the disadvantages. Now we can see the power electronic systems. So by using this block diagram, I am going to explain about the power electronic system. So this is the main power source. It may be AC or DC. This is the power electronic circuit, that is any converter. It may be a rectifier or inverter or chopper, anything may be. Okay, so it is the load. So in accordance with the source and load, this will be rectifier or converter. For example, if the source is AC, the load is DC, then what is the converter? So this is the rectifier. Here we have to use the rectifier, which converts the AC voltage into DC voltage to operate this load. Another case, if the source is DC and the load is also DC, then what we will use here? Here we can use a chopper. So chopper is the one which converts the DC voltage into fixed DC voltage into variable DC voltage. Next case, if it is DC and the load is AC, then what converter we have to use here? Inverter. So inverter is the one which converts the DC voltage into AC voltage. So the converter is selected based upon the source and the load. Okay. So now we can consider that the power electronic converter works by using the source. So for load we can take a motor. Now we are going to measure the speed of the motor. We can sense it and we can give as a feedback signal to the control circuit. Okay, for what? To control the speed of the motor. So sense the speed and give it to the control circuit. Here the reference speed is set. So the control circuit, what it does, it compares both the signal, so reference signal and this feedback signal, which is speed. So both the speed signals are compared and the error signal is sent to the digital circuit. In digital circuit, there are modulation techniques. It may be pulse width modulation. So we can use many controller like fuzzy logic controller or DSP or FPGA, anything we can use. So by using these controllers, we can modulate the signal. Okay, so these signals are given to the gate of the thyristor or MOSFET, which are in the converter, because the converter is made up of thyristors or MOSFETs or IGBTs, etc. So by controlling the gate signal, we can control the voltage. So now the speed of the motor is controlled, okay, by using this feedback signal, by using this control techniques.